Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, today we have two maps from roughly the same kind of location in the world, in sort of like northern central Europe. We have one from one of my personal favourite creators coming up first. A great return from them, and a lot of you are going to really like this one. And then the second half of the show is the Patreon voted map requested by Homie. And again, it's Central Europe, but celebrating a centenary. Although, to be fair, we are a little bit late in doing so. But we won't be late in our daily reminder now, will we? That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for that support. Today's first map is Vecmīlgrāvis by Wafthrudnir. Yes, Vecmīlgrāvis, my very best Latvian there. Thanks very much to Google for the assistance. We've got a very fun playable start square. It's just beautiful. So, and a lovely little lake in there as well. Very nice. Terrain heights across the map are very easy to build on as well. Seems like a largely reclaimed land area. We have strong resources, lots of trees there, a bit of field painting, but on the whole I would say pretty usable for a realistic style build. And if you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, we've got a nice mix of fish as well, which is good. And so off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, no DLC is required today, which is a nice thing. There is a one-click collection with 40 items in it, which we'll have a look at in a moment. Tree Anarchy is required, so yes, Tree Anarchy settings. And then we have a theme mix using Theme Mixer 2. I'll talk about that in a few moments as well. Anyway, off to the one-click collection. We've got, I'd say, a good mix of trees, rocks, various bits and pieces for detailing. It's not the world's longest list, but it's not a particularly short list either. I would say this is about the right sort of level for a length of list for a map of this sort of standard. No radioactive desert and more. Of course, I use Hide It Bobby. Hide It or Hide It Bobby are the way forward for me. Anyway, that's just a personal way that I go. But no, radioactive desert and more does exactly the same job. Means you can get your trees a little bit closer to the water without them being dead. Okay, down to ground level. We're using a custom-built theme mix, which is based around the Laviante, the Euro 4K, the Stray Cats Territory Homecoming, and Reaper's Realistic Final Look, I believe it's called. And it's a nice look. In fact, the whole map looks very nice indeed. Got a few custom road assets as well to subscribe to. But again, that I feel that these work very nicely as well. And Wafthrudnir is such an accomplished creator. I think I say it every time I review one of their maps. Yeah, there's our first little intersection. I'm liking this. Clean, crisp, smooth lines, no jinky jankies. Everything is just as it should be. And interesting as well. That's the other thing. Making it as it should be, but also making it interesting and just nice. We've got interesting and nice. Now, we're based on the Riga area of Latvia here, and I haven't checked much of it as a direct one-to-one, so I can't tell you that the highways are definitely accurate. I'm sure that they are, but I can't tell you that they are. I had checked one or two areas, and the one or two areas that I did check, for example, on the waterfront, did seem on point. So I think Wafthrudnir has done an absolute stellar job here. Again, as you'd expect. But again, I always say this with Wafthrudnir's work. And the first map I ever saw of theirs, I went, okay, we've got something here. We have got something here. And they've just gone on and got better and better and better and better. So there is that. Got a custom bridge. We've got a couple of custom bridges, this one and the stone bridge, and we'll have a look at some of the standards of the custom bridge laying, because this is where detailing points can easily be lost. They might not be lost, but they can easily be lost. Many a lesser creator will lose points for custom bridges not quite being exactly perfect. If you're going to go to the effort of putting a custom bridge down, you kind of want it to be perfect. And yeah, Wafthrudnir kind of knows how to do these things now, I think. Start square territory, and this is how you're going to be starting off. I'm not even showing you how those roads just like to transition from regular highways down into dirt roads. It's just cleanly done. Cleanly done, and there's nothing you'd want. It's inspiring enough to make you want to start building in that kind of direction. And then we have rail as well. So for now, we're transitioning across from the road to the rail at this point, because I mean I can show you all the highways, and the old style of Watts map I would have taken you right to the edge of the map, but you're kind of getting the gist, I feel, by just seeing half of the rail and half of the road, and trying to show you maybe the intro. Like here, I could go quickly towards the edge of the map by going left. I think by going right just is a little bit more interesting, because we've got a couple of bridges down this way. I think there's a feature area down this way as well, so we'll have a little look at that. There's no catenary chaos on this map, which is probably down to node controller, I would imagine. I've not checked to see how it's been done, but I would imagine with no controller and intersection marking tool being listed as requirements. Again, your map won't be broken if you don't have them, if you don't want them. It'll just be not quite as polished because of standards. Now, what is the detail area down there? There it is, just on the other side of the river. I don't know if you can make it out in amongst the forest there. But we have, ooh, it's a castle. That's there for the BonBonBingo players. A link is in the description if you want to check off the memes as we go. So yes, nice little bit of river detailing, nice little shape of a castle going on there. It's all it needs to be. That's all you don't need to make the most complex castle of all time for it to be well received. It just needs to be solid and interesting, and that's what we have there. Plenty of watery areas. Again, it feels like very much a wetland area, and the wetland areas have been done on the whole pretty danged well, I'm going to say. I'm throwing the words on the whole in there because we are going to have a little look at one little part of the wetland a little bit later on as a discussion point, and of course you're welcome to disagree with me. That's why we have the comments. Everybody's allowed an opinion. You can make your own map review if you want. Trust me, it's hours and hours and hours of your time, but you can. There's nothing to stop you. Anyway, let's have a little look at some of the detailing. This is strong. Now, I have checked this part of the map in Google Earth, and this is a pretty reasonable recreation, actually. Like this one over here does have a lighthouse on the end, and it's good to see. The essential lighthouse, isn't she lovely? In red, lovely. And again, it's just done believably and very neatly. I'm liking that. Then as you come down here, there is this little curved thing on this side about halfway down, and again that's been done very neatly as well. And then a little bit further down there is a pier at this point. So I have to assume that the entire map is pretty accurate. And then down here, this just looks almost photoreal, doesn't it? It's just absolutely beautiful. Beautifully done. All credits for that. Let's jump to a different location. The custom dam. Right, okay, inspiration again, no doubt, from Bringer of Fire and their custom dam works. They raised the bar, and others have been basically trying to keep up ever since, and this is definitely keeping up. I'm particularly liking the way that this water pump here, or is that sewage outlet, I'm liking the way that that's being used there. It's just for detailing purposes, but it looks amazing. And then of course there's a heck of a lot of bridge pillars in there as well. It looks very nice. Now, in terms of detailing, you know, I'm always looking for a reason not to give a 5th star. There's a little bit of a green glitch there, cutting through. Now, everybody's allowed one minor non-game affecting detailing glitch or error, and that is the one that we're going to allow for this map. This is a little island up in the reservoir, up just a little bit upstream from the dam, and it appears to be a former chapel or abbey or a something. So if you're abbey and you know it, clap your hands. So very, very, very tidy, very neat. Now, if we'd gone left instead of right on the rail, we would have got to this little station, and I'm all for having a station as long as there's a reason for it, and this one has a reason. Little touristy area with a little path going through the forest. Again, no trees on the path, which is very nice to see. And then this is going to take us down to the beach area, and again, we're going to see something in a moment that I'm all for allowing the suspension of disbelief on this. And that is, see how we got the stairs coming down onto the beach? That's very tidily done. All for that. Of course, they're not stairs, it's a ramp. But the angle that comes down is enough to just trick the brain. It's only when you get super close that you see that actually they are they're ramps rather than stairs. But I'm okay with that. You can do proper detailing if you really want to when you start building your city. Very sharp edge going along here, but it's a harbour area. It is supposed to have a sharp edge so that ships can get up alongside. So I was going to dock point for that, and then the more I thought about it, the more real it seemed. And then we got, speaking of real, look at this. This is just a lovely little pier going out into a little lakey area. Just so sweet. Little sweet things like that are all good. Did promise we'd have a look at a custom bridge. Let's have a look at this one. This one's technically quite difficult to get perfect. And, well, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Can't knock anything off of that. Now, all the wetland areas are exceptional. Like, this is an exceptional area. But I did promise you a talking point. And that talking point's on the other side of the river here. Now, these grasses, for me, don't quite work perfectly like this. The spacing between them just makes each one look very much like it was plopped, and it's just dotted, and it doesn't quite match the standard across the rest of the map. And if I show you a different location with the same grasses where they've been tucked closer together in a smaller area, this works really very nicely indeed. So when I don't give 5 stars for detailing, it's because of that and that only. I'm always looking for a reason, and that would be today's reason. Anyway, what do you think of the map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Click the I button now in the top right hand corner of your screen, or the link in the description. It takes you to the voting page where you can vote for free with a Facebook, Gmail, Apple or a Patreon account. And yes, just vote with your heart and don't listen to what BonBon says. Please. Right, what do I think of today's first map? Well, it's exceptional. It's a very lovely indeed. I don't want to double jeopardy it, and I am thinking a little bit on the detailing issue. So I'm going to go for the full 5 stars, because I can't see anything more that can really be done with this one. Apart from that water's edge, but we're going to hit it on the head with detailing for that. So I'm going for the full 5 stars for aesthetics. I cannot see this being any better. For detailing, okay, so you've got the minor glitch on the dam, we let you off that one. The waterfront detailing on that particular location doesn't quite live up with the rest of the map, doesn't quite fit. I appreciate you trying to save on assets, I don't blame you, and it's still a megally high 4 stars, it's just an excuse not to give the 5th. And for gameplay, 5 stars. There you go, that's all I'm going to say, 5 stars, absolutely beautiful map. Top quality Vecmīlgrāvis by Wafthrudnir. BonBonB seal of approval through and through. Almost certainly on my shortlist for map of the year because it is an exceptional work. Thank you. Again, I just love maps like this. I will have another map in a few moments' time, but before we do that, we'll take a very brief intermission. Be right back. And so on to today's second map. Now this one was made to commemorate the centenary of Poland. Yes, indeed, the land where one of the 4 Teletubbies was born. That's not right. Anyway, beside the point, we've got a slightly older map, 2018 map, because that's when the centenary was, and also a map from a creator who's only ever made the one map, which can only mean one thing. It's time for...
It's my first map.
That's right. So we are going to be kind in the comments. It's definitely a lower quality map, but listen, it's not always about the pretty maps. It's about supporting and nurturing creators, even if they aren't going to be making another map because they seem to have moved on in life. I don't blame them. It's a map of Poland and nearby territories for the 100th Polish independence by gordiells, or gordiells maybe. There's your start square. Start square looks very good. I have no complaints with the start square. Train heights, plenty of buildable space in terms of flat land, and we've got some rivers breaking things up as well, which is good. Apparently all the resources are where you would find the resources in real life. I've not checked, but I trust the creator. And if you've got Sunset Harbour and want to do some fishing, it's about the anchovies today, and that's it. This was, of course, pre-Sunset Harbour anyway. Off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, the thumbnail, not very exciting. What can I say? There's a lovely little set of images to get started with, and a nicely written description giving some background. Now, I haven't had time to do a lot of research on Poland or the history of Poland, so let's just accept the map as being accurate. But of a lesser creator, shall we say. Now, when I first load up a map, it looks a bit like this. I think you know when you start a new game, it looks a bit like that. And so I rotate it, for the sake of what's map, to the nearest angle, which is this angle. And then I do my shots from that angle for the start of map. A few of you may have been questioning this. And when I scroll back here, and that's how you see the map from the top-down overview, this coast up here is actually the northern coast of Poland. North is off to our right. And it's just one of these things that I could angle it, but then again, I'm going to spend another 15-20 minutes each day checking maps just to make sure everything's the right way up. I rotate for consistency the same way every single time. Anyway, we have mountains which are down in the Slovak and Czech area. Lots of flat land in the old the plains up there, which we know well and true. And then you've got the Baltic Sea up here with the coast and harbours, and you've got a bit of Kaliningrad, you've got a bit of one of the Danish islands. It's all in there. Well, while we're this far up, because the map looks at its best from up here, we have shipping routes with a couple of slight angles in them, but I don't think you're really going to notice much funny business with the ships. It's not too bad. It's almost good. So that's all right. And also, definitely almost good, is the water flow in the start square. It's moving. It's working like a real river. It's not the strongest, but it'll certainly get you started. So again, I'm going to call that almost good. I mean, it's more than adequate, which is all we can ask, really. So anyway, from up here, the map looks at its best. Then we'll zoom in, and I hate to say we're going to have to pick holes. Let's do it nicely, shall we? So, we have networks. I don't know for sure how accurate the networks are, but I imagine not very, judging by the angles that that road has gone out on over there, and the way that look, okay, let's just be nice. Please be nice. It's all I ask of you. Few trees under the roads, and you'll see in a few moments time under the rail as well. Again, if you're playing this 100% vanilla, which is what you should be, then these trees will not be showing through. This is an anarchy setting I use for the show to show which trees are actually tucked underneath the highways, and also allow detailers to do detailing under the rail for things like abandoned rail lines and grasses. I say it often, but it's always somebody's first show, so I've got to do that. Anyway, this, after having a nice look at a nice flat railway, has gone over a hill and drawn a little bit on the quick side. And well, I don't feel that's going to be the case in real life, is it? And everything, remember, everything here is scaled massively as well. This is the whole of Poland. Poland's a big country, and we've crammed it into small areas, so the scaling on this is going to be a little bit awkward, but I don't mind it overall. Here's your harbour areas. I mean, they're cleanly drawn, if not finessed. Then we have a few lakes dotted around over this way. Now, if we have a look at the lakes, they are very, very low fill. And it looks to me like that is actually sea level rather than lake fill. I've not checked, but I'm 99% sure that is actually just filled to sea level. So at least they won't drain away completely. They just won't fill any higher. Then over here, we have, oh dear, it's a little bit of blue mantle. A wee bit of blue mantle. I have a tutorial for that. And I don't know, well, I do know what's happened here. I know exactly what's happened there. But it's been missed because the map was made in a moderate hurry. But that said, there was a lot of time spent on it. I mean, that's one of the things I think we can accept. This map isn't a 5-minute map. Somebody spent a little time and a little bit of love on it. I love this mountain. again, in real life, the scaling on this is clearly this is these mountains wouldn't be anywhere near this tall, but it's an interesting shaped mountain. I think we can say that for sure. A little bit like a flower. A wee bit like a flower. And if we have a look over these mountains over here, again, clearly hand-drawn mountains. I do have a tutorial for making more realistic mountains by hand. I'll remember to link that one in, hopefully. But we do, you can see the circular brushes going on here as well. Maybe I can come back and do a little bit of What's Map extra on this map, just to make the mountains a little bit more realistic. Possibly. Maybe. Rail, we've got a little bit of stray rail over here. I don't know what the plan was going on here, but we got a bit on its own, which I don't mind. I don't hate in itself. I just don't make any sense of it. But that's okay. It doesn't have to make any sense at all. I'm sure in real life, again, if I was to check in real life, there may actually be an old abandoned rail line there, and that's just a nod to it. So let's just say that's the case. Give some credit to the creator. Anyway, what do you think of today's second map? Remember, be kind. Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now in the top right corner of the screen, or the link in the description. Take you to the voting page where you can vote for free with a Facebook, Gmail, Apple or a Patreon account. And as always, make sure you're voting on the correct map. So what do I think of this one? Well, okay. Aesthetically, from quite a long way up, it's identifiable as the right area, so that's a plus. Closer you get, the more awkward it gets. Again, scaling a map this size down to this size is not going to work really well unless you're highly skilled, and you've got to make a lot of maps to get to that sort of level. I'm going to go for a high 2 stars. I can't go into 3 stars. And equally, I'm going to say pretty much the same with detailing. A lot of effort has been made to get things like forests and rivers and harbours and stuff, but it's all been done very clunkily. And so, again, it doesn't quite hit 3 stars, but I'm going to go at the higher end of 2. It's not that bad. And then gameplay potential. Do you know what? It's not broken. It's playable. A few people might really fancy this one, and so I'm going to give this one 3 stars, but again, lots to fix, so bottom end. Map of Poland and nearby territories for the 100th Polish independence by Gordiells. And do you know what? I should have zoomed in and shown you some of those forests, because the forests are probably one of the better parts of the map. I mean, it's just a mass of trees, but it adds interest. And I didn't even mention that. And remember, all the resources are in the right place. That has to have some sort of credit for it as well. Go wild in the comments, but be kind. And if you're still here in the comments, use the word of the day to prove you're part of the 20 and out elite. And I will be back on Friday with another map in the What's Map series. Don't forget to check BonBonB too. I've got something new over there at the moment. Do check it out. Thanks for watching. See you soon.